What's up YouTube? I'm Yajji and this is the second episode to the Grandmaster series. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best playmakers in the game, Zarya. Zarya is a tank that comes with utility, damage, and a game-changing ultimate, but she can be hard to master if you don't really understand her. So here's everything I'm going to be covering in the video. So let's get right into it. So regarding Zarya's playstyle, two important factors to keep in mind while playing Zarya is that you need to develop a sense of awareness and teamwork. Zarya's playstyle revolves around playing with her team due to her shield mechanic. You can save teammates and increase energy at the same time, but this requires you to develop that sense of awareness with Zarya to save key targets from certain doom as well as increasing your damage in the process. Once you get your energy up, your job is to abuse that power. Too many times I noticed that charged up Zaryas are playing too passively while they have all that power. And there are different ways that you should play Zarya depending on how much energy you have. For instance, at 0 energy, you should be playing more defensive and reactive. You're looking to get energy through possible spam damage or impact saves, such as saving your teammates from Riot Heart charges or Roadhog hooks. And then at 50 energy, you're still playing around the team and you've got enough damage to put a dent in the enemy, but I describe this phase as being semi-aggressive. So you're going to want to know your limits while going out there and putting out damage. And then at 100 energy, this is where the damage really picks up. Zarya deals 150 damage per second with her left click and 95 with each grenade she throws out, her right click. At this phase, you're going to want to use your shields to increase your survivability rather than your damage, so look to use your shields in moments that will save your life rather than to gain energy. So just to recap, at 0 energy, you're playing more defensive and reactive. At 50 energy, you're more semi-aggressive, and then at 100 energy, you're playing more aggressive but still knowing your limits. Now another hard part for you guys might be to get the energy in the first place, and a really simple strategy that works extremely well, especially at the lower ranks, is just to walk up to them right in their face and pop your shield as you're taking damage. This is very important. Don't pop your shield preemptively because you'll waste a couple precious seconds not taking damage. And don't be afraid to take some damage. Zarya's health comprises of shields and health, and her shield can recharge after she stops taking damage. Another important thing to note is dying with Zarya is extremely punishing since you'll have to build up your energy all over again. So try to avoid dying and know your limits when you're high on energy. The most important thing to remember is to play around your team. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about Zarya's right click versus her left click. Zarya's left click is great for solo targets and deals an insane amount of damage. It also destroys barriers pretty well, and you should be using left click most of the time as it does more damage than the right click. You should be using your right click to build up your ultimate when there is more than one enemy nearby. Her right click does up to 95 damage and gives you 2 to 3% ult charge depending on how many enemies you hit. You should also be using your right clicks when you use your Graviton, unless you're trying to kill a priority target such as Mercy. There is also a kill combo which you can use when 1v1ing a target. You should use your right click to knock them up into the air and then track with your left click. Knocking them up into the air makes it easier to track their movement. Let's move on to her bubbles. Getting good with Zarya's bubbles requires two things, awareness and timing. The key to being a good Zarya is to look out for your team's ultimates and bubbling them as they ult to ensure they get the full ult off. Here's a list of heroes you should look to bubble. It's also important to note that your shield can absorb an infinite amount of burst damage, meaning pulse bombs, diva ults, high noons, and anything similar to that. As I mentioned earlier, remember not to pop your shields preemptively and only while you're taking damage. The only time you should be preemptively popping your shields is to save your teammates from getting shut down while using their ults. Another thing you should be looking out for while playing with Zarya is impact bubbles. This is when you save your teammates from hooks, charges, diva explosions, so on. This is where your awareness comes in. You need to be looking to support your team as they're being jumped on or flanked or anything else you can think of. You can also use your bubbles to protect your teammates to initiate. You can bubble a Winston as he's jumping into the fight to protect him, get energy, and allow him to get more damage off. You can use it on a charging Reinhardt so that he can't be stopped and is protected. Always be looking for more impact bubbles more than anything else. And here's a tip that's helped me gain a lot of energy in a lot of games. Sometimes when I know that there's an enemy behind me, I ignore them and allow them to shoot at me for a little bit before I pop my shield, and usually they aren't able to stop fast enough before I pop my shield since they thought I didn't know they were there when in fact I did. These are just some mind games with Zarya bubbles though. And finally, let's talk about Zarya's game-changing ult. I've seen countless players being extremely scared to use this ultimate for whatever reason. Whether they're looking for the perfect ultimate or they're too scared to waste it. If they don't have a Mercy, you can use it to get 2 to 3 people and that will be enough sometimes. Just please, for the love of God, don't hold on to it for too long. When using your ultimate, you also have to consider a couple of things. How much charge do you have? Is your barrier up? Who are their healers? If it's Zen, it's better to combo with Tracer like ults, and if it's Lucio, it's better to combo with Hanzo like ults. You'll also want to use your right click to put out as much AoE damage as you can, and make sure you've got a decent amount of charge. An easy way to get your ult is to also go for big targets while high on charge. There are a couple of heroes that help you get your ultimate pretty fast, and I consider these heroes batteries for Zarya, because they literally just give you free ult charge. D.Va and Roadhog are great for Zarya, because they're big targets, hard to miss, and they can't really do much against you if you have your bubble up at the right time. So remember, if you ever see a D.Va and Roadhog in your game, prioritize these two heroes to charge your ult fastest. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys haven't checked out the first episode to this series, you can click on this video right here and I'll take you to a Hanzo guide. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and as usual, I'll see you guys next time.